Hello, everybody. Cliff Yankovich from the Lowell Ledger, and my guest today is Kent County's version of the dog whisperer.
Well, thanks, Cliff.
That's what we call Gail Roderick. You might know her as the superintendent of the Kent County Youth Fair Dog Project. She's been dealing with I'll shut up now. Gail, how long have you been involved with training and grooming animals? Can you give us a little bit of your history, please?
Well, I started showing dogs as a youth with the Kent County Youth Fair.
12 years ago.
Exactly. Thank you, Cliffy. In 1974.
Did they have dogs then?
They were newly invented.
Okay.
And then I took over my dog club in 1976 when I graduated high school, and then I went to the Florida School of Dog Grooming the winter of, you'll remember this, 1978.
The big blizzard.
I was in Tampa, Florida, going to dog grooming school. That was good planning, wasn't it?
Well, I was riding a snowmobile down Fulton Street.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, I've been seeing lots of vehicles at the Wreath Building in Rec Park on a regular basis. What's going on there? Is that the Youth Fair Dog Project, or you got something else going?
Yep, we have partnered with the West Michigan Dog Sports, which is a nonprofit organization. They formed, I don't know how many years ago, but several years ago, and they've got quite a goal to build a training facility in West Michigan. There's literally no place, no facility, no indoor facility to train dogs for
like agility sports?
Yep, we do agility, nose work, fly ball.
What the heck is fly ball?
Fly ball is you have a team of 4 dogs, and they run as fast as they can. You've got 2 teams side by side. They run as fast as they can in a straight line over 4 little hurdles, hit a paddle, which releases a tennis ball. They grab the tennis ball, turn around, and run back as fast as they can go. It's just the dogs love it. It's a lot of fun to watch.
And what was the other thing? I think most of us are familiar with dog agility, where you make them go up and down the teeter-totters and through
dog
the
agility
tubes.
is huge.
And then
what I mentioned, scent work, nose work.
Nose work. Nose okay.
Work, scent work.
I thought you were doing nose jobs on the dogs.
Not yet.
No. Okay.
And so nose work, it's just a ton of fun. It's patterned off of how they train like police dogs to identify odors, right? And so it's a whole competition where dogs are trained to detect certain odors. You start out where they're hidden in boxes, and that you have to train the dog to find the odor, indicate that they have found that odor. No pot.
I was going to say, if they're training them for pot on Main Street, it would be a nightmare.
That sort of thing. And then you go to where they find the scent underwater or buried, or, it gets advanced. They do interior searches where you would put the hides, the scent, all over. Like let's say if it was in this room, you might have one on that lamp, in that cupboard, and the dog has to find the scent and then indicate it by sitting. And
so obviously the dog that does it the fastest and most accurate wins.
Accuracy is better than speed. So you want accuracy first, but you want them to be fast.
Now you said in water. I've seen some things where they have these competitions with the dogs jumping into.
Dock diving is huge, and if we can get a facility big enough that would accommodate an indoor pool.
Yeah.
If not, there's a fella that has a business, and he has the outdoor pools. They set them up. It's quite expensive to set them up and fill them, so you don't want, he'll be at the Grand Rapids, the cluster show that's at the Kalamazoo Fairgrounds over Memorial Day weekend, but he is set up for 5 days.
Okay.
But if we have a facility, he'll put his pool up and leave it. There was a short-lived facility in Grand Rapids, and he had his pool set up there inside. But unfortunately, some of these facilities, they came and went because they're just too expensive to run. Anyway.
Well, so the the Kent County Youth Fair Dog Project is working with Michigan Dog Sports.
Right. They actually came to us because we have a darn good program, and we've got a lot of our kids that are out in the dog world showing very competitively. They show AKC. I've got a young man who's been to Westminster many times for junior
wow.
handling. I've got a young lady, Hope, who now is graduated out of our program, is one of our leaders. She made AKC's European Youth Agility
Wow.
Team.
How many kids
So-
are involved in the dog project?
In Kent County, we've got about 60 kids.
60.
But it'll grow when we have a facility again because, again, we don't have any place for these kids to train.
Okay.
So,
Let's get into a little bit about, in your opinion, what's being a good dog owner? What constitutes responsible dog ownership?
Okay.
According to Gail Roderick.
all right. Spay and neuter your pets. The shelters are overflowing, and sadly, they're back at the point where nice, healthy dogs are being euthanized because they just don't have the space. Most of the dogs in shelters are pits, pit mixes, labs, lab mixes, and so forth. We've got to get people to go back to spaying and neutering their pets. And I don't have anything against, the pits and the pit mixes, but they have huge litters. A lot of times, sadly, people that have just their pets have a litter or an accidental litter, let's say. They find homes for the puppies. Half of those puppies statistically are going to end up in a shelter.
Get back, yeah.
And that pet owner probably isn't going to be following those puppies and willing to take them back. Then you have what we call, used to be the term was responsible breeders or preservation breeders. They will always take their puppy back.
Really?
Yeah.
If it's not a good fit for the house, a
Things
responsible...
happen. Life happens. People
Sure.
get sick. Whatever. Life happens sometimes, but those dogs are never going to end up in the animal shelter. Very rarely do you find a purebred dog anymore in the animal shelter because there's rescue groups or the breeders will take them back. So please, for God's sakes, spay and neuter your dogs.
What else?
Put an ID tag on them.
Okay.
Every day, my Facebook is there's usually 3 or 4 dogs, and it's great. People, they'll take them in.
We
They'll keep
found
them
this dog
safe.
at Cascade Road and
Yep.
such and such.
Yep. Dog has got a collar, no tags. And chipping is great. And now, a wonderful thing that I just saw is our police in Lowell just they've got a chip reader.
I was going to say, what person, if I found a dog in my yard, I don't know how to read a chip.
Nope, but our police have one. Otherwise, you'd have to take him to the vet, and all vets can scan
Right.
for a chip.
Right.
But it's so much easier when you're at Myers. Just have a tag made.
Yeah.
I love, there's an ad that pops up all the time for hunting dogs, for their metal tags that you would rivet to a hunting dog's collar.
Mm-hmm.
And the ad says, your dog can't call home. I think that's pretty darn good.
Sure.
But, a lot of people, they'll they'll hang on to your dog, but wouldn't it be nice if you didn't inconvenience your neighbor? Could be the dog. We one time it was the next door neighbor's dog. I had no idea it was their dog. I called the animal shelter, and they had to go pick it up at the Ione Animal Shelter, and get this, they had adopted the dog from them
Whoops.
that day.
Oh.
Yep.
Yep.
I had no idea. And it ended up costing them. They went and bailed the dog out, and it cost them over $500 to get the dog they had just adopted back out of the shelter. And if it just had a tag, I'd have called my neighbors.
Sure. I've seen you post about these retractable leashes.
Oh,
What is it exactly that they're popular as heck?
they are. Well, wait. Back up one thing
Okay.
because we forgot to touch on our big thing. Is if you're going to have a dog, you got to have it confined,
Thank you.
especially in town. Fence it. If you are I know a lot of people are in a lot of these subdivisions don't allow, or I shouldn't say a lot. Some of these subdivisions don't allow
Fences.
fencing. So I live in the country on 5 acres, but I still have dog watch fence,
Okay.
an invisible fence.
Well, I live in the city, and I'm almost afraid to get into this topic because I consider myself a dog lover. I
Yes.
had dogs in my life from the moment I was born. I grew up with dogs. I don't like dogs anymore. I live in town. I walk every day. That's my form of exercise. I don't go to the gym. I can't tell you the number of times I've been, I hate to say the word attacked, but last week I was walking kind of by the fairgrounds. A young man was coming at me with 2 dogs that once they saw me, they were pulling his arms out of the socket, freaking out. Thankfully, he was nice, got way out of my way. I turned the corner, walked another block, and there was a lady with her 2 children and 2 dogs in her yard. I figured, Mom's there. I'm walking on the public sidewalk. One of the dogs came up to me and was being very aggressive. I ended up in the middle of the street, and I asked the lady, why aren't you doing something? I'm on a public sidewalk. And she just sort of shrugged and raised her hands. So, folks, take care of your dog. Your dog's right to freedom ends where a pedestrian is walking by.
Right. Yep.
If I may be so bold.
Yep. That's huge. And I always tell people, we have horses. You have a horse, you have a fence. You have a
Right.
dog, you have a fence.
Thank you.
Confine them, leash them. A friend of mine was walking out Seguin, 36th Street area,
Yep.
her 2 leashed dogs. Somebody's dog charged out at hers. Her dogs are leashed. This dog ends up in the road. Big dog fight. Helen is, well, she works at the Ledger. Sorry,
yes.
Helen. She falls,
Oh, no.
injured her arm. Completely unnecessary, completely irresponsible.
Totally avoidable.
Absolutely avoidable.
All right, let's touch on
Okay.
another fun subject. Speaking of having dogs spayed or neutered, what do you think about the price of vet visits these days? And how do you feel? I see pet insurance being marketed on the regular. I know
Yep.
some people that have spent thousands of dollars to fix their dogs. Some of whom could easily afford it. Others of whom I was amazed that they put that kind of money into an animal.
Yes. So pet.
Sorry, that's a lot.
No, but you're absolutely right, and there's no getting around it. I mean, it has absolutely soared for a lot of reasons. Getting a veterinary education
Sure.
is extremely expensive.
It's at least as costly as becoming an MD or a DO almost.
It can, on average, a veterinary student's going to graduate with $250,000 in debt.
Yeah.
And that's even those who can kind of keep up and pay a little bit on the way. It's a very expensive degree.
Right.
The pay's not huge. Setting up a clinic is very, very expensive. So all of the reasons why, at the end of the day,
It's sort of a mixed blessing. I mean, the things that they can do to save animals now are totally amazing.
they are.
On the other hand, if you're going to fly your dog to MSU and have multiple surgeries, it's going to be
It is what it is. And, like you said, well, I mean, I've got a cattle dog
Yep.
that I've got probably about $30,000 into saving his leg
Right.
because somebody decided to shoot him.
Right.
So, and again, thank goodness. But so pet insurance,
Pet insurance.
it's a good option for, especially for people who have dogs who are prone to health issues. So I will tell you, I ran into my good friend Jill Moore this afternoon, who you've interviewed a couple of times.
Right.
She shows Boston Terriers, and I figured that Jill would have done her homework. So I said,
Sparrow is her.
hey, Sparrow is her dog,
Yeah.
top winning Boston in the nation. In fact,
Right.
he's out with a handler right now, and she has him insured.
Okay.
Through, she did her homework, talked to a lot of other people who show dogs who do use pet insurance, and she said they use Pets Best.
Okay.
So interestingly, I got a quote on my 8-year-old German Shepherd Berlin, and they came up with it would cost me about $85 a month.
Okay.
$500 deductible. They reimburse 80%. Annual limit is unlimited, and that's
Wow.
unique to this one because most of them have like a $5,000 limit. Well, that
Sure.
wouldn't have even paid for Huck's first 2 days just in the ER before we even got to MSU.
Right.
So, and they pay for meds, exam fees, and they all have their restrictions. It's just like buying any insurance.
Sure.
So, what if I had one dog?
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have pet insurance. I would get some quotes, but I probably would have it. Interestingly, my dogs, everybody went to my vet, Amy Green, is with Hometown Vet in Byron Center. She has a breed that is the #1 AKC breed now. She loves this dog, and they are a physical health disaster. And she's going to get pet insurance. She's a vet. She has a French bulldog.
Oh.
And she pulled up
Frenchies are.
oh my lord. Oh my
Well,
lord.
aren't they one of the most popular
They are
dogs?
the most popular
Okay.
dog this year.
Okay.
And so with that, all of the backyard breeders, what we call the backyard breeders, are going to crop up, and they're going to make bank on these popular
Mm-hmm.
breeds, but they're not going to be doing any health checks. They're not going to be trying to breed to any standards of good health and whatnot. And Amy, her Frenchie that she just loves dearly, Gaston, he is a disaster. She showed me his x-rays. His spine is just a mess. And she knows that he's going to end up with orthopedic surgery. She can't do it, even though she's a veterinarian. She's not an orthopedic surgeon. So she knows she's going to end up at MSU with him, and she's going to get pet insurance.
Okay.
Because it'll be expensive.
Well, I lost a thread. It was my fault. I asked you about retractable leashes.
Oh. Okay, so there's a human injury right there. Now, most of the retractable leashes are like on a ribbon, but when they first came out, if you've got an old one, it's a string.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Finger amputations.
Oh, so your
my
concern was
gosh.
about the people, not because I was trying to figure out why. What?
They're dangerous. Well, it's
Sure.
a double-edged sword.
Sure.
So, okay, let's say your dog is trained, to a degree, and he's not going to. You'll be able to call him back. He gets the end of this retractable leash, and you're going to be able to call him back.
Right.
Well, some of these retractable leashes are 40 feet long.
Could be in the middle of the road.
Exactly. And, you're not going to have a lot of control of him. Or he's going to see something, or, he's going to run out in the middle of the road, or he's going to have enough speed. He's going to jerk that little plastic handle out of
Right
your
at-
hand.
As opposed to a 6-foot lead.
Where you've got him
that-
under control. Yeah.
Yeah. 6 foot is connected to you. Well, now I'm thinking in terms of a 40-foot string that allows the dog to run 80 feet.
Oh, you're all over the place. And what I really love is the people that bring their dogs, that's another topic,
Mm.
to Fallsburg Festival.
Thank you.
On their retractable leashes.
Sure.
And they're talking to, their friends that they ran into, and there's their dog way over there, and there's their string tripping people. It's
all around. I am amazed at, boy, I have to restrain myself. I don't know why. I love the summer concerts. It's 100 degrees.
Oh, please
People
don't.
bring their dogs to a concert on concrete with loud music,
Nope.
and I don't get it.
No.
They're bringing them to restaurants. Julie and I won't name the restaurant in Ada, but it's sort of open, and they allow people to come with their dogs on the open part. We were eating there last summer. Lady had her dog under the table. Another dog came in, and they didn't like one another,
There you
and they
go.
started tangling in the aisle in a restaurant. And I'm like, this is why I'm no longer the big dog advocate. It's like, come on, folks, you can't go out to dinner without your dog.
Exactly.
And I
I
know
don't
I'm going
get
to
it.
get some hate mail here, but
Oh, we both will, because I'm on the same page as you, and that makes me nuts. In fact, I didn't go to a single concert last summer, and that was a part of it. These poor dogs, and I get so distracted. They don't bring them water. It's always blazing hot when the concert starts. I sat one night, and there was a lady just maybe like a row ahead of me with, it was like a Pomeranian kind of a dog.
Right.
And he barked through the whole concert.
Nice.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
So the dogs are miserable. They don't want to be there.
I wouldn't think a dog would enjoy amplified music.
It's loud and it's crowded. And I was at a concert one night and I'm watching this dog, and of course being a dog person, I can read its body language. It was stressed, and of course, and they're on, one of the sidewalks there, and people are walking by, and everybody wants to pet the dog.
Right.
And I'm thinking, that dog's gonna bite somebody.
Somebody.
Yeah.
I had a dog. It was actually a lady with 2 Jack Russells, and they both went to bite me at one of the concerts 4 or 5 years ago. And I knew this lady, and I said, "What's going on here? Why did you bring them if they're prone?" I'm trying to enjoy some music here.
It's right up there with the gal with the 2 bulldogs, who I think we both know. And I mean, they can't breathe when it's that hot out, let alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's get on to some happier stuff. Is there a particular breed of dog? If somebody's out there, first-time dog owner, what would you steer them towards? Something in particular?
That's such a good question. My daughter and I teach obedience classes, and everybody loves their dogs. And there's very often the people have just simply gotten the wrong dog for their family. So that would be where you would start. Assess realistically your lifestyle. I'm a hiker. I did 7 miles today. My 3 dogs probably did 14.
Yeah.
So, but I'm a very active person, so I can have the cattle dog, the rat terrier, and the German shepherd, because they get a tremendous amount of exercise.
Right.
Would they be happy in a small fenced yard in town? Probably not.
Nope.
So first of all, decide what it is that you want, out of a dog, and how much exercise can you provide that dog. In a previous set of classes, we had Labradors, lovely Labradors, but they weren't getting enough exercise, and the people were struggling. And can we train your dog? Yep, we can train it. But you're going to have to satisfy that dog's need for exercise when you just got a dog that is bred to hunt and swim all day long tirelessly, and now you have an unfenced yard, and his only source of exercise is a leashed walk once or twice a day, and then they take him to daycare. What's her name? She's got a doggy daycare, and that's great.
Yeah.
But they would have been better off with a smaller mixed breed, or an otter. Your otter dog was the best dog ever. So that's what I would say would be number one. Another thing to take into consideration, and people love their doodles.
You're not a fan of the doodles.
I am not a fan of any mass-produced dog of any sort.
She's choosing her words carefully.
This is hard. Some of the doodles are some of the nicest dogs ever. Yep. You have taken 2 very diverse breeds of dogs, both which have, let's take the most popular ones, golden doodles, labradoodles, Bernese mountain dog crosses. Dogs with so many health issues. A responsible breeder who's breeding purebred labs, goldens, and Bernese, they're going to have a fortune into their breeding stock just doing the health checks and getting all the health clearances. So now you've got somebody who, heaven help me, because people are going to, anyway, they're going to get a golden, and they're going to get a standard poodle maybe. Are they going to spend tons of money doing the health checks? They're going to hope for this magical thing called hybrid vigor, which really isn't a thing. And their puppies are going to sell some of the thousands and thousands of dollars for these mixed breeds, and you don't know what kind of hair coat you're going to end up with, and so forth. So now you've got a potentially very unhealthy dog And it's going
That's
to
going to
cost
end
you.
up in a shelter when they realize it's going to cost them.
And the grooming is going to cost you an arm and a leg. I won't groom them. I've been grooming since 1978.
You refuse?
I have a few that I do, and I love them, but I won't do any more. I won't take on any more.
Why? Are they
They're
harder?
huge. They mat like nothing I've ever seen.
Okay.
And I lived through the Old English Sheepdog fad.
Oh, boy.
These
Disney movies
Oh, my
started
Lord.
that.
And hypoallergenic is a made-up term. There's no such thing. The allergen is the protein in the dog's saliva and or the dander on the dog's coat. All dogs produce dander. Hypoallergenic is a made-up term by the doodle industry. They don't. It's no.
We are going to make a lot of friends,
Oh my
aren't we?
gosh. But so if you want something that truly does not shed, get a standard poodle.
Thank you.
The nicest, smartest. We've got a poodle in our obedience class right now.
Yeah.
This thing is 8 months old. It's the most brilliant dog I've ever
It's
seen in my
teaching
life.
the other dogs.
Oh my gosh. And it's the perfect choice. It belongs to a couple, well, they're artists with Lowell Arts. Lovely gals. They travel. They've got this beautiful little miniature poodle that does not shed. They just got done with some big trip that they went on, and she went everywhere with them.
So you're telling me Labradoodles shed?
Oh my God. Some of them are
So it's not a
shed
guarantee.
like you wouldn't even. Oh God, no.
Well, because I know Labradors, because Otter
Lord.
had Beagle and Lab and something, and that little dog poured off more fur than any. I could have woven blankets.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting.
And and most of them, I think people get them with the image of this, fluffy dog, and I'm sad for them because in the reality of it, unless you're going to put in a tremendous amount of work at home,
It's not going to
they're
be.
going to end up just getting clipped down, growing out, getting clipped down, growing out, getting clipped down. I mean, people you get what you want,
Right.
but again, do your research. It'd be a good idea to talk to a vet, call the Grand Rapids Kennel Club Grand Rapids Kennel Club has a referral.
Okay.
There's people that show all kinds of breeds within the kennel club that will be happy to talk to you, happy to help you pick the right dog for your lifestyle. You guys went to a shelter and got Otter. Could you have,
We actually got her from the vet on Cascade Road. Dr. Siegel.
Siegel, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Vets can often direct you to a dog that needs a home or a good rescue who will help you find a wonderful pet that fits your lifestyle. If you want a doodle, go online. The doodle rescues are all over the
They're
place.
all over the place.
They are. And don't get me wrong. I mean, like I said, some of them are just, man, there's some really cool ones out there. Would I have one? Not in a million years, because I don't want the coat care, number one. And I want something that's going to be as healthy as I can possibly have. I mean,
All right. Well, it sounds to me like you're advocating do a little research before you just respond to
yeah.
the popular chatter. Let's get one of these.
Yeah, and the doodles are so popular, and
Yep.
some of them are off the charts hyper, but look what they're combining. And I mean, the other day they're blending them with everything under the sun. But there's a lot of good rescues, a lot of great shelters that have just wonderful, wonderful dogs that just need a good home.
All right, let's kind of wrap this up on a positive note. Let's suppose someone out there has a dog. Maybe they want some better training, that kind of thing. How do they get in touch with you and Emma? How do they get involved? Maybe they want to get involved with the dog sports deal.
Yep.
How can they find you?
Riverside Dog Training.
Okay.
Apparently there's also a Riverside Dog Training in California, so make sure you're looking for the one in Michigan. My daughter, Emma Wickstrom, started this business about 5 years ago. We've worked with youth for, my club, Working Paws, started in 1972.
Okay.
So I've been training and showing since the late 70s, mid 70s. And I've got tons of friends in dogs. If you've got an issue that we can't help you with, I can find you somebody that can help you.
You know people.
I know people.
All
And
right.
dog people are always happy to help dog people.
So
Riverside Dog Training.
Is she on Facebook?
Yep, she's got a website. We have a Facebook page. We do 6-week classes for $90, and you will end up earning your AKC, CGC, Canine Good Citizenship
All right.
test. It's an actual title. We can go on, to more training. West Michigan Dog Sports. Once we get established, we're going to be taking the
Is
Wreath
that something?
Building.
Is that something? Oh, at the Wreath Building.
The Wreath Building, the one strut barn that's still left.
Yep.
It's a 90 by 90. We're turning that into an indoor agility building.
Can people come and watch that?
Oh, yeah. And we're going to be having classes. We're going to be having try-it days where you can come and give it a try for a small fee, see if you like agility. We're going to have a fenced training yard outdoors as well.
Oh, wow.
We plan on bringing all kinds of dog activities to Lowell. West Michigan has no training facilities. West Michigan Dog Sports, I'll tell you, these people are just absolutely over the moon about coming to Lowell, training their dogs, we'll have trials, agility trials, competitions, fun activities for people with their pets.
So West Michigan Dog Sports, find them online.
They're
pretty
online
easy?
too. They've got
All
a
right.
website. So it's all we're gonna start working on the building like right away. We're gonna put in a new floor and bring in some high quality agility equipment. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And the people that have come to Lowell to kind of scope out the old fairgrounds that haven't been to Lowell in a long time,
Right.
or maybe have never been to Lowell, they're just thrilled.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll spend the whole day here. After they train, they'll be walking up to for ice cream or to one of the outdoor restaurants. But
Maybe
they will
buy
be well-trained dogs.
Right.
They'll be
We'll only let them in town. Well, I
Yeah.
know we've stepped on a few toes, but I certainly appreciate you sharing your expertise with us, Gail. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cliff.
You bet.